morning and welcome to our market update for October the 8th. Equities continued to extend their losses on the back of extended political impasse in the US. With the US government currently shut down and no solution in sight, it certainly does seem like this US debt ceiling is certainly coming under threat in the short term. This has really spooked investors and continues to see a flight to safety. As a result, we saw the precious metals, particularly gold and silver, gain ground overnight, along with some of the safer haven currencies such as the Japanese yen, which continues to gain ground, particularly against the US dollar and of course in most of its crosses. It does seem like the Aussie dollar will be in focus today. It has been trading in a higher trading range lately between 93 and 95 cents. And of course with ANZ job ads and NAB business confidence due out today will remain in focus. It does seem like it might have limited reaction to any negative data locally, just on the back of the fact that most analysts now firmly think that the RBA will be on hold for a while. The recent statement was very neutral and really suggested that they're not concerned about the appreciation in the Aussie dollar as well. We do have the jobs numbers on Thursday and they're likely to carry a bit more weight. But it's unlikely we'll see any serious downside from this, with dips being used as an opportunity to accumulate by traders recently. Of course, it does seem like it might be an interesting day from a China perspective as well. They returned to trade after having been shut since the US government shutdown actually commenced. So they've missed out on this whole move that we've seen in equities. We are likely to see a little bit of selling at the open, but we might see a little bit of stability as the session progresses and investors panic sort of settles down through trade. At the same time, Japan will be in focus after the US dollar versus the yen dropped through that 97 level, and this really threatens to see further losses or selling in the Nikkei, which we're currently calling down about 1.5% at the moment. So it should be a very interesting day for most Asian indices. Locally, we are calling the market down about 0.5%. So that's a bit of a drop from yesterday's levels, of which we finally breached that 5200 level. There will be a bit of focus on the commodities space, particularly the metals, where we saw some bounces across the board, particularly for gold and silver. This should support the precious metals names today. BHP's ADR is actually pointing up 0.5%, so that should be quite an interesting one. CSL will be in focus as well. They announced a settlement one-off cost yesterday, and this saw their stock sold a bit at the open yesterday, down about 1% or so. But they have recently gotten an upgrade as well from Deutsche Bank to a buy from a hold, and this could be supportive of its price action today. That whole healthcare space remains quite interesting, particularly as investors flee to the more defensive sectors, and as well they have some unique business models which continue to see them growing earnings in the short term.